to shed another tear. Life passed through another year. Oh, I curse the ones that hold me down.
I think once I took up playing guitar, it was only about 6 months into it when I sort of realized that I was starting to express myself, and I wasn't really sure what it was. I was, in my late teens, 17, 18 years old, and I really started to just sing. I could hear the melodies in my head. I just started to sing them. I didn't have much of a voice. I still don't, but I just felt the creative spark. And once I started to sing things, words started to come, and they weren't very good at first. And then the process for me is still ongoing, but I just started to write songs and finish them. Finish the idea, carry it through, even if it wasn't that great. And through that, I learned the process of songwriting. I've just been doing it for so long now that I think the discipline is there. So I get so much pleasure out of that part still that it's probably the most rewarding part of my musical career is songwriting. There's lots of songs that I played a few times live and people scratched their head or turned away or just lost their interest. After a while you kind of think, well, okay, that song's not really going where you want it to. It's not translating to the audience. It's not giving them something. Either the story isn't complete or interesting. The melody sounds like something they've already heard. Or, just some reason it's not working. I've got piles of songs like that that I never play live again. But it doesn't mean that they're not valid as songs and as art. Often you need just to purge the idea to move on to the next one. So welcome to one of my little workspaces. This is the little backstage area, actually upstairs at the Northern Ramble. This used to be where the baptism tubs were, and right now it's one of my spaces that I write in. I'm sort of documenting, archiving a lot of my old stuff. If you look down here, I've got this briefcase here has about, without exaggerating, at least 300 lyrics for about 300 songs. This is all my early stuff. And as I'm going through them, I'm finding stuff that's missing. And then I'm going through all of my old cassettes. I know cassettes isn't that crazy, but my cassettes, I have, probably 150 of them, each with about 15 songs on them. Maybe not that many, but 50 cassettes with 15 songs on them, at least right here, documenting most of my early stuff. Now I'm transferring most of that to digital so I don't lose it because the cassettes are dying, More lyrics here. My very first album, pretty funny, vinyl.
These clouds of fear come down.
Often when I'm writing, I'll get a musical idea first with the guitar in hand, Sometimes if I'm going through a little bit of I wouldn't say a dry spell because I don't really have them, but or I'm just not coming up with anything interesting or new, I'm going over the same stuff, I'll sit at a piano. I'm not a piano player, but sometimes that takes you in a different direction. Once in a while, I'll just have a hook, like a twist of phrase that inspires me to pick up my guitar. So then I'll have a purpose a little bit. I'll be playing and I'll be repeating this phrase to myself because I like it. Maybe it's just something that's come into my head. So sometimes that'll take you in a different direction. But if I'm just playing, I can equally be inspired by the music. And it creates a mood, and the mood creates a story in my mind, or at least a line will come into my head. So the process for me is the idea, or the spark, make sure I don't lose them. I've gotten up in the middle of the night, groggy, picked up my phone and gone into it, and gone back, listened to it the next day, and either said, that sucks, or yeah, that's inspiring me. I try not to lose the idea. Once you've got the idea, the rest is discipline. The rest is the process of learning to write songs, doing it often enough that you finish them and you learn the process of writing. Out of 700 songs or so, there's probably about 100 that I can access instantly. A favorite in there. Usually, I'm going to answer that by saying, there's a lot of older songs that I'm proud of, but I think to say a favorite would be, it's usually the one you've just finished. Often for an artist or a writer, it's the tune that you're most enamored with is the one you're working on or have just finished because it feels fresh, it plays fresh, and it's feeding you because that's what inspired it in the first place, was something inside you needed to come out.
I finish my whiskey and I drink all